Who remembers the episode Pizza Delivery? Yeah, well, this episode has like over 20 mistakes in it, and in today's video, we're gonna be talking about every mistake in this episode, so let's do it. How this is gonna work is I'm gonna play the clip with the mistake in it, and then I'm going to explain the mistake and expose it, all right? Here's the first one.
Hurry up with those chairs, SpongeBob!
Front end, check. Antenna, check.
Alright, so as you guys just seen, that first shot shows two boats waiting outside of the Krusty Krab, alright? But once we go outside again and we get to see the outside of the Krusty Krab, obviously, we can see that only the delivery boat is here now. And keep in mind that this all happens in a matter of like seconds. Now, obviously, guys, you know, those two cars, they could have driven away in that matter of seconds, but I do think that this one was a bit of a continuity error. Keep in mind, not every single mistake is going to be crazy. Some of the ones at the beginning of the video are going to be light, but as we progress, there's going to be some wild mistakes in this episode, some blatant errors. Here's the next one.
Like to go home?
I got it, coming.
Hello?
Oh.
This one's interesting. So when SpongeBob over here is shining a table at the Krusty Krab, if we take a look at SpongeBob himself and we take a look at his Krusty Krab hat, we can see the anchor and it looks like this, okay? But if we take a look at his hat in the reflection on the table that he's shining, and we do a little side by side, you'll see that the anchor on his reflection is like much bigger than the one on his actual hat, which again is another error, a bit of a weird one. Reflections aren't gonna just make the anchor larger. So, you know, this episode is from like 20 years ago, so I'll give them a break. But yeah, on to the next one. Here's number 3.
There, Krusty Krab, how can I help you? Pizza? Of course we have pizza.
Mr. Krabs.
Our delivery squid will bring it right over.
This one is a common one. So a lot of people think that Squidward is a squid because, you know, his name is Squidward, you know, squid's in his name. And hey, in the episode during that scene you just saw, when Mr. Krabs tells the customer that Squidward will deliver the pizza, he refers to Squidward as a squid. But this is actually a massive mistake. It's like the biggest lie in the history of SpongeBob. Squidward is actually an octopus. And if you need confirmation, this is going to show how much of a SpongeBob nerd I am. Here is some audio commentary with Steven Hillenburg and Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob and the creator of SpongeBob, confirming this. Listen.
Squidward is an octopus, by the way, not a squid. Everybody asks why he has only 6 tentacles if he's an octopus, and I always say, well, that's probably why he's angry.
See? Interesting. You know, this episode's supposed to be about pizza delivery mistakes, which it is, but there's a little history lesson for you guys. But yeah, Mr. Krabs referring to Squidward as a squid at the beginning of pizza delivery is an error because of that. And let's head over to our next mistake in this episode. Guys, some of the mistakes coming up are wild.
Antenna, check. Bumper, sticker, check.
Give me the wheels, SpongeBob! Give me the wheels!
Backing up.
I love this part of the episode. So as you just seen, SpongeBob did a bit of a vehicle inspection. And what really matters here is if we look at the boat, the pizza delivery boat, it has an antenna right here, and it has this sticker right here. It's like a bumper sticker. Like I said, it appears during the vehicle inspection, but the problem here, the mistake here, is after the inspection as they drive away. Look, the antenna's missing here, it's just gone, and the bumper sticker is also missing. So first they drew the boat with an antenna and bumper sticker, and then afterwards they were just too lazy to draw it again. Not that big of a deal. 2D animation's hard. Here's the next mistake.
Front end, check. Antenna, check. Bumper, check. Bumper.
Heading back over to that vehicle inspection, when SpongeBob checks the tire pressure in one of the car's tires, at first it has a hubcap, as you can see here, but when he actually checks it, the hubcap just disappears. Here's a side-by-side, there was a hubcap, and then there just isn't one. It's not that big of a deal, but it kinda just makes me laugh, just like this next mistake really makes me laugh. This one's funny.
Bumper, check. Bumper, sticker. Backing up.
Keeping on the topic of the boat, don't worry guys, we're gonna move on to another part of the episode after this, but at first, the delivery boat is white and purple on the sides in front, but the rear, right here, has this classic red stripe. Or does it? Well, I mean, it starts out red as you can see here, but as the episode progresses and we get this scene of the boat spinning down the road, it now has this like purple tint, and even worse of all, once it entirely breaks down, it turns entirely purple, that red racing stripe. Here's a side-by-side as always. At first it was red, and then as you can see here, it's purple, making for just some weird continuity.
Who drive?
I can't. I'm still in boating school.
Come on, SpongeBob. It's just around the corner.
Well, yeah, but...
This one's a classic, so right here is a PNG of Squidward, and as you guys know, Squidward has these iconic forehead wrinkles, alright? They're always on his forehead. Even when he makes like weird facial expressions, they'll still be there, they just move. But for a few frames in Pizza Delivery, look, Squidward's wrinkles just awkwardly disappear, but then they randomly reappear seconds later. So this was definitely a mistake, where like the animation of his wrinkles or the layer for the art just disappeared for a couple of frames. Whatever, here's another mistake.
Fresh and break dancers! He's stopping! He's stopping!
So as you guys just seen, this truck driver right here, when the truck driver realizes that SpongeBob is in the middle of the road, his air horn lever right here, it's moving, all right? You can see it right here, the air horn lever. But if we watch closely, a couple of seconds before he honks the truck, it just randomly stays still. The animation just stops, which is totally a nitpick on my end. Like, this is not that big of a deal. But hey, the goal of this video is to point out every single mistake, and this is supposedly considered to be a mistake. So yeah, here's another one though.
Let go of the pizza! SpongeBob!
This scene has always made me laugh when SpongeBob's like being blown around while holding the pizza, but this scene also has a mistake, obviously. I mean, why would I be bringing it up otherwise? So if you look, this writing right here is towards SpongeBob, all right? You can see that the writing on the box is facing towards SpongeBob. But when they are eventually spat out, now the writing is facing away from him, which if you really think about it, is kind of weird from an animation perspective. This is another one that is kind of a nitpick and not that big of a deal, but stay tuned because what's coming up is where things get really spicy. Pizza Delivery has some spicy mistakes.
Gotta eat something!
I heard in times of hardship, the pioneers would eat coral.
So for this one, take a look at a PNG of SpongeBob right here, and I want you to pay attention to all of his holes, all of his pores. You know, he's a sponge, and the holes on his body are a big part of his design. Well, when SpongeBob grabs some coral, and the scene you guys just seen, one of his holes disappears for a frame. This one right here, and so you guys know I'm not like exaggerating, here's a side-by-side, and as you can see, SpongeBob normally has a pore in this spot. So a little weird, but not that big of a deal. Still kind of weird though, and here's more.
Maybe we better check on it. Just a peek.
Okay, it's fine.
Oh, nope. I was wrong.
I'm pretty proud of this one because I found it all on my own. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I usually use Reddit and like the wiki to help me with these. But when Squidward says take a look at the pizza and he's trying to manipulate SpongeBob into breaking and eating the pizza with him, to be honest, I'd probably give in. Here's a question for all of you guys. Leave a comment. Would you give in and just eat the pizza if you were SpongeBob and Squidward here? But anyways, when Squidward says take a look at the pizza, let's slow things down and look at how the box opens, because it opens to the east, all right? It opens like this. This is when he only opens it a little bit. However, when he fully opens it literally seconds later, it now opens to the other side. It opens to the north. Here's a side-by-side with both of them slow motion and looping, and yeah, you can see the pizza box just like changes entirely. And guys, that's not how pizza boxes work. I'm a pizza expert, I would know. But yeah, let's keep it moving. More mistakes.
No! No!
I want that pizza, and you're gonna hand it over one way or another.
So throughout this entire episode, we can see SpongeBob wearing his hat, all right? His Krusty Krab employee hat, all right? It's always on his head. But when SpongeBob runs away from Squidward and then hits him and falls to the ground, we see SpongeBob sit on the ground and he's randomly just not wearing his hat. We didn't see him take it off. It's not on the ground or anything. It just randomly appears back on his head after, so kind of weird. This one's from Reddit, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This one is totally a nitpick. Like, his hat's just missing for one scene. It's not that big of a deal, but it is kind of technically a mistake. We don't see him take it off, but whatever. Roll the next mistake.
Oh, the pioneers used to ride these babies for miles.
They thought they could drive. Rocks.
This one's really, really hard to catch, but after Squidward is run over by SpongeBob's rock, like, it's so funny how SpongeBob can ride a rock in this episode, but anyways, after he's ran over by SpongeBob, if we freeze at the right frame, Squidward's eyes just momentarily become the same color as his skin, making for a really strange mistake. His eyes are supposed to be white, not the same color as his skin. You should go check that out, Squidward. That's not healthy, dude. Neither is this next mistake.
Didn't you ever once think of the customer? You call yourself a delivery boy? Well, I ain't buying!
I'ma be completely honest, we've covered this next mistake in previous videos before. Normally we do videos where we talk about mistakes in multiple SpongeBob episodes. It won't just be one specific episode like we're doing today, pizza delivery. But while the customer is snapping at SpongeBob and being very rude to my friend over here, SpongeBob, he's so rude, saying to him, "You call yourself a delivery boy?" If we watch closely, this very rude fish's fin slightly comes off of his body for a brief second. You can see it right here. It's just slightly detached. And you know what? I don't even think that's a mistake. That's just karma, dude, for being rude to SpongeBob. He's so nice.
You call yourself a delivery boy? Well, I ain't buying!
Sponge?
You know what? I just found this one, and again, I'm very proud of myself. I found this one on my own. But during that same scene where that rude fish says, "You call yourself a delivery boy," we can see Squidward on this rock over here. And if we look, his 4 feet, right? He's a squid, or an octopus, actually. Each one of those tentacles has like suction cups at the end of them. I don't know what the scientific term is, but they're suction cups. And as you can see, one of them is missing them. The one farthest from the screen is just missing those suction cups. Again, I don't know what they're called, but this is a mistake. If the 3 of them have them, this one right here should also have them. So yeah.
Sponge?
This is another one from Reddit that's kind of weird, but I see what they mean. It is technically a mistake. So, when SpongeBob falls to the ground after failing to serve the customer his pizza because he's very rude, if we look closely, SpongeBob's feet face sideways, alright? But in the very next shot, literally a second later, his feet now face upright. And here's a side by side. You can see they originally drew it like this, and then literally a second later, they drew it like this. Which, I mean, come on. This is a 2D animated show. 2D animation's hard, but I get what Reddit's talking about. This is technically a mistake. And there's more, guys.
Now, take me home.
Are you kidding? We have just enough time to make it back to work.
Work.
So, at the very ending of the episode, it's revealed that the customer's house was actually across from the Krusty Krab the entire time. What a shocker. SpongeBob and Squidward went through this whole adventure for nothing. But here's the problem. As you guys can see in some of these shots right here, it is canon that the Chum Bucket is directly across the street from the Krusty Krab. There's the Krusty Krab, then there's a path between them, and then the Chum Bucket. So this shot right here where we can see that the customer's house is across the street is a mistake. It's totally a mistake. You know, it's for comedic effect, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that's not canon. I sound like a total dork. I sound like Bubble Bass, but that's not canon. And here's the next one.
Oh, nope. I was wrong.
Wait a second.
This one's simple, but it really, really, really cracked me up. So, the main part of this episode is the pizza, the Krusty Krab pizza, right? Well, there's a major mistake with this, because in every shot of the pizza, the pepperoni changes. In some shots, there's a bunch of pepperoni like this, and some shots, there's not as much. Like, here's an example. Here's one random shot of it, here's another random shot of it, and here's another one. And as you can see, like, all the pepperoni distribution is different. The placement of it is different, and you know, pizzas don't just change this. To be fair, I mean, look at this scene where they're being like thrown through like the wind and stuff, like, and SpongeBob's holding on to the pizza. I guess the pizza could have got scrambled from that, but technically a mistake, technically. And guys, we got one more.
Frashing, break dancer!
He's stopping! He's stopping!
And last but not least, the final mistake for this episode, Pizza Delivery, takes place in the credits, as the swordfish trucker, this guy right here, is voiced by Doug Lawrence, who primarily voices Plankton or Larry the Lobster. Here's a side-by-side of him voicing the truck driver and him voicing Plankton. Obviously different voices, but you can tell it's him.
Frashing, break dancer! Mr. Krabs gets to eat real food. Just look at his daughter. She's as big as a whale.
Well, then why during the end credits does it say that Roger Dumpass voiced him? Because it was a mistake. It was actually Doug, but you can see there was a little bit of a mistake with the credits here where the wrong person was listed. Not that big of a deal, but hey, mistakes happen.
This is pretty good. Only one thing. You forgot the pickles!
remember the SpongeBob episode Pickles, this iconic episode? Yeah, well, what if I told you this episode has like nearly 20 mistakes? Well, in today's video, we're going to be exposing every single one of them, so stay tuned. How this is gonna work is I'm gonna show a clip with the mistake in it, and then I'm gonna come back in and explain the mistake, all right? Here's the first one.
One crying Johnny! Oop!
Whatever.
I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe.
I got it already, Squidward.
Alright, so let's kick things off with a bang. The very first mistake in this episode is already a rough one, and it has to do with a burger SpongeBob makes. So at first, as you guys just saw, a customer orders the Crying Johnny, which SpongeBob whips up, and it looks like this. Remember this design for the burger, alright? It looks very good, I want to bite. Remember this though, as eventually, when Bubble Bass orders, scenes later, he orders a double trippy bossy deluxe. Well, he doesn't just order that, he actually orders this. Listen to his order again.
I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft. 4x4 animal style. Extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze. Light axle grease, make it cry. Burn it and let it swim.
Yeah, Bubble Bass is very specific, but anyways, this is what he gets. This is a double triple bossy deluxe. But here's the problem. If we go back and look at the sandwich made for the Crying Johnny, that previous order, and then we look at this new one, the double triple bossy deluxe, they're literally the same. There's a slight size difference, but they're literally like the same model pretty much, so this was totally a mistake. You can tell it was supposed to be a different burger model, or they just didn't expect us to catch it. This is only a taste of the mistakes though, guys. Some of the mistakes coming up will blow your brain.
12 Krabby Patties on wheat buns.
Bun patty catch me, 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 bun.
So mistake number 2 is very easy to miss. I would not be surprised if you guys did not catch it, but when Squidward gives SpongeBob the order 12 patties on wheat buns, for about a brief second, his neck is like layered in front of his mouth. Look here, it looks very strange. This is a typical 2D animation error and just, yeah, it looks very weird. Here's the next mistake though.
12 Krabby Patties on wheat buns.
1 dozen crying cows on the farm. Up!
Thanks, Farmer Brown.
So a little bit of a nitpick here. This one isn't entirely a mistake. It's, you know, just a play of words. But SpongeBob calls those 12 patties on wheat buns 1 dozen crying cows on the farm, implying that Krabby Patties contain meat. However, it's been confirmed many times before by showrunner Vincent Waller and Steven Hillenburg that there is absolutely no meat in the Krabby Patty. There's no animal product in there. So this is technically a mistake, but I mean, come on, this is season 1. Vincent Waller wasn't even working on the show yet, so they might not have decided that Krabby Patties have no meat in them yet. Who knows? It's season 1. We're nitpicking. Let's move over to a mistake that's actually like bad. All right, here's the next mistake.
Mr. Krabs, the front door is missing! Oh.
This one is a very common mistake within SpongeBob, and it's gonna be similar to the last one where it's season 1, and this just might not have been decided yet, but throughout the episode, whenever the front doors are shown inside the Krusty Krab, we should be able to see the Chum Bucket across the street, as it's been confirmed in so many episodes that the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket are directly across from another. Here's one clip just proving this right here. But yeah, it's not there in this episode, and who knows, maybe again it just was not decided that the Chum Bucket would be directly across the street from the Krusty Krab. I don't know, but it should be right there, and it isn't there. Mistakes happen sometimes. Here's mistake number 5.
Don't think so. You lose.
Alright, mistake number 5, and this is where Bubble Bass comes in, alright? This dude right here, who goes on to be quite the iconic SpongeBob character. He actually has like reoccurring appearances in modern day SpongeBob. Just these days, he cares less about pickles and cares more about comics and stuff like that. They made Bubble Bass like the nerdy character. Anyways though, after he crushes SpongeBob's heart and tells him that he forgot the pickles, he eventually says, "You lose." Just like that, in that annoying voice. And if we look closely, this character right here, Incidental 5, is missing their mouth. Normally, this is how Incidental 5 looks. Here's a PNG, they have a mouth, and yeah, in that one shot, their mouth is missing, and that's not healthy, dude. Plus, like, how do you forget to draw a character's mouth? Like, Rough Draft Korea was slacking in this episode. They're the ones who animate the episodes, and yeah, this one's a blatant animation error. Let's keep it moving, though. Lots of wild mistakes coming up, and you don't want to miss this next one.
You owe me $2.
$2?
Your guarantee.
Okay, so as you guys just saw, Bubble Bass is gonna get a refund because of the policy at the Krusty Krab in very small text on the menu. Mr. Krabs is cheesed, but he should also be cheesed because whoever designed this menu made a massive typo. If we look at the menu in pretty much any other episode, Krabby Patty is spelt as Krabbypatty. Remember this as look. In this episode, when we see the menu, they completely misspell it. I mean, it's not too bad, but they spell patty as Pattie for some reason. They trying to be cute or something. I don't know, man. I feel like Pearl wrote that. But yeah, totally a mistake. It's happened a couple of other times throughout the show's like 200 plus episodes, but very far and few between, so this is totally a mistake. It's never spelt like that. I swear though, all this talk about burgers is making me really hungry, but anyways.
Wait, this isn't right either. Nope. Negative. Come on, get it right.
Alright, so as you guys saw from here, SpongeBob goes home and he is very, very sad. So much so he can't even sleep anymore. He can't remember to do anything. And during the montage of SpongeBob trying to figure out how to sleep, that alarm clock of SpongeBob's, right? This one right here, the ship horn, just randomly keeps on moving its position back and forth between shots on its barrel. And it's not for comedic effect or anything. Like here's a side-by-side showing it's moved a little bit. It hasn't moved a ton and just, yeah, totally a mistake here. I don't know why it's moving. It wouldn't be moving. It's also a bit of a nitpick, guys. Like this one might not necessarily be a mistake. I don't know, but it was on the wiki, so I had to include it. I want to include every single mistake ever.
I gotta get SpongeBob back.
This one cracks me up, alright? So in any other episode, Mr. Krabs, when he walks like this. His legs like ping pong back and forth, and it makes that like sound. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like a meme within SpongeBob. Here's an example of this. I'm gonna play a clip.
And the next day, 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 and the next day.
Damn, Mr. Krabs, I wish I could walk like that. But anyways, this is how Mr. Krabs' walking cycle animation always looks. But for some reason, when Mr. Krabs realizes that he needs SpongeBob because Squidward is burning everything up at the Krusty Krab and walks to his house, he just walks normally. Like, he just uses this normal walking animation, and it's really weird. Like, this might not seem like that big of a deal, but if you understand animation, guys, he never walks like this. It's just a very weird mistake here. Really, really cracks me up. This next one's pretty funny too. This one's more of an animation mistake, all right?
I know I put them on. Where are those pickles? Pickles.
I believe you owe me.
As you guys just seen in the clips, when Squidward gets thrown for the first time, specifically the first time, he momentarily loses his hat. Like, before he's thrown, he's wearing the hat, and then after he's thrown, he's wearing the hat. But while he's being thrown, the hat is off, which, you know, people are saying is a mistake on the SpongeBob Reddit and in the SpongeBob Wiki. Like, a lot of people claim that this is supposedly a mistake. But also, guys, if you really think, if he was thrown through the air, his hat would fall off. So that logic doesn't really apply in numerous other instances. There's plenty of times SpongeBob's been thrown around and his hat stays on. I said this would be a quick one and I'm rambling now. Pretty much, Squidward loses his hat, it then comes back. Could be a continuity error. This next mistake is way better though, guys. Let's keep it moving.
Finally realized that I can't do it!
This is another one from you guys. It's from the SpongeBob Wiki or Reddit, and this one is a total nitpick. Don't worry, the mistakes after this one will be like serious mistakes where it's like, damn, how did somebody do this? But when Mr. Krabs first unrolls the blue mat of Krabby Patty ingredients, if we look at the ketchup bottle, it is like significantly smaller than the mustard bottle. Like, look, I'm zooming in. Remember this, I can't believe I'm saying this, but remember the size of these bottles, as after the passage of like several days, it now is just equal to the mustard in size. It's now like the same size. Here's a side-by-side, and yeah, guys, at first the ketchup bottle was bigger. You guys are a bunch of nitpicks, you know, it's hilarious. Anyways, here's the next mistake.
I got it! It's all very clear to me now, Mr. Krabs.
It is?
Yes! I finally realized that I can't!
Okay, so we're at the point of the episode where Mr. Krabs is helping SpongeBob. He needs his iconic fry cook back, leading to this scene where SpongeBob says, I got it. Here's the problem though. When Mr. Krabs is awakened by SpongeBob saying, I got it, when we look at that blue mat with all of the ingredients on it, we can see cheese right here. I want some, that yummy cheddar cheese. This is the most random question ever, but what's your favorite kind of cheese? Comment below. But anyways, you can see cheddar cheese right here. I'm zooming in. Well, literally in the very next shot, that cheese, remember it was cheddar cheese, changes to onions. And now on that blue board, there is no cheese and only onions in place of it. Making for a really funny mistake. Like, this all happens in a matter of seconds. They drew cheese in this shot and then forgot, and in this shot drew onions instead, when realistically, guys, both of these are a topping on a Krabby Patty. I'm gonna move on to the next mistake, as I know that's what you guys are here for, but even look at the clip when SpongeBob like assembles it and realizes he's remembered the recipe. Both onion and cheese are a topping, so just a messy thing overall. But yeah, let's keep it moving. More mistakes.
I can't make a double Krabby Patty with the work. I can't put a patty on a bun with lettuce, cheese, onions, tomatoes, ketchup, mustard, pickles, and top bun.
So I actually have two mistakes from the exact same scene we just played, so that's why I only played a couple of clips just now. I don't want to play the exact same scene again with audio. Like I said, there's two in one. For one, SpongeBob says he cannot make a double Krabby Patty with the works. A double. But when he's making it, he only actually uses one patty. It isn't even a double Krabby Patty. To be fair though, at this time he's saying he can't make it, so maybe that's why he only used one patty. That's one mistake right there potentially. But the true other mistake is that when SpongeBob remembers how to make the Krabby Patty, the lighting in the living room repeatedly switches back and forth from day to night. In this shot, it's like it's daytime, and then in this shot, it's like it's nighttime, but then in this shot, it's daytime again. Very, very inconsistent lighting in that scene. But all right, let's head over to a completely other scene with more mistakes.
I hear Square Pants is back.
I'm right here, Bubble Bass.
This next one's a tough one. Now listen guys, not every single mistake in this video is going to be groundbreaking due to the fact that I'm trying to cover every mistake in this episode. Plus, I'm not finding all of these mistakes. Normally, I find all the mistakes that I cover, but for videos where I'm covering literally every mistake, I need a little help, and this one is from you guys. So, supposedly, when SpongeBob opens the Krusty Krab kitchen door in the clips you just saw, if we pause at the right frame, his left eye is colored green, when as you can see in this clip, for example, from the first episode, SpongeBob always has blue eye. Now the problem is that this episode is so old and like the resolution is so like low that it's very hard to zoom in on this somewhat zoomed out shot and show you guys. So instead, I'm gonna show you this high-res image right here from the wiki. And yeah, it does look as if that left eye is green. I'm zooming in. I have no clue why one of his eyes is green like this. Such a weird mistake, but it is a mistake, and let's keep it moving. So, when SpongeBob is going back to the Krusty Krab, we can see that he's wearing his Krusty Krab hat right here. His iconic Krusty Krab employee hat, alright? Remember this. I kinda want one, just saying. Like, can I get one of those? But anyways, he's wearing his hat, right? He goes into the Krusty Krab kitchen, and then he eventually looks at his reflection in his spatula. And there's a problem here. SpongeBob is wearing the hat, but in his reflection, dude, where is it? It's just missing. Such a funny mistake. In every other scene after this and every other scene before this, he's wearing the hat, and it's just like, dude, his hat just magically disappears in the reflection. But hey, this episode's like 20 years old, so whatever. Here's another mistake. It's from the same scene, so I'm gonna play the clip again, but it's gonna be very short.
Good. Don't forget the pickles.
I didn't.
So this mistake is also based around the scene where SpongeBob looks at his reflection in his spatula. You're such an egomaniac, SpongeBob. But normally spatulas, here's a PNG of a spatula, normally they have these like lines or like slates or slots in them, all right? This is how a spatula normally looks. And you'll notice that the spatula SpongeBob looks into doesn't have these. Now, don't worry, that's not the mistake. That would be such a nitpick. The mistake is that at first, SpongeBob's spatula has none of those lines, but as the scene progresses, look, this randomly changes. As now, his spatula has the lines, which is very funny and clearly a mistake. It seems Rough Draft Korea at first drew it without the lines, and then they did draw it with the lines, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's a mistake and it's kind of funny. All right, let's roll the clip and let's see if you guys can catch this one. Here's a hint. It's an audio error. It has to do with a sound effect.
I hear Square Pants is back.
I'm right here, Bubble Bass.
Yeah, did you guys catch it, or did you guys hear it, I guess? Because like I said, this is an audio error. In the clips you just saw, when SpongeBob says, "I'm right here, Bubble Bass," if we listen very closely, footsteps can be heard as if they're coming from SpongeBob, but SpongeBob doesn't take any steps at all. I'm gonna play it again really quick, the exact clip. Here, listen.
I hear Square Pants is back.
I'm right here, Bubble Bass.
Yeah, hopefully you guys caught it. We hear like sound effects as if SpongeBob's gonna start walking, but then he just doesn't walk. I imagine originally in like the storyboard version, he was gonna walk towards Bubble Bass. This got cut, but the sound effect was still in. Whatever, mistakes happen. I still love you, SpongeBob. But we ain't done.
And there's my car keys.
And there's my ride.
All right, here's the next one. It's another audio error. So, when Bubble Bass runs out of the Krusty Krab after he gets exposed for lying on our boy SpongeBob's name, claiming he never put any pickles on his burger, what a capper. Almost ruined our boy's life with that nonsense. Honestly, bro, SpongeBob and Bubble Bass should tee up after this. But anyways, all right? When Bubble Bass runs from the Krusty Krab at the end of the episode, we can hear him panting, all right? We can hear him panting and breathing heavy because he's scared like he should be. However, if we look at his mouth while this is happening, his mouth does not move at all. We hear the sound effect for him to be panting, but this should also be reflected with his mouth, right? But like, I'm gonna play it again in slow motion. Here, take a look. You'll notice Bubble Bass's mouth does not move at all. Take a look.
And there's my car keys.
And there's my ride.
Yeah, I told you, his mouth just does not move, but we hear the audio. Very strange. Now, that's going to do it for today's video, guys, but if you want more SpongeBob mistakes, click this video right here. Normally, guys, I don't just focus on one episode. I'll take mistakes from multiple episodes and put them in one video. And that's when the mistakes are really bad. If you want to see those, click this video right here for even worse mistakes than the ones in this video. Do it. I'll see you over there. We'll split a Krusty Krab pizza. All right, click the video. Peace. I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on SpongeBob Season 4? I personally actually like it, but there are some weird episodes in the season, one of them being Fear of a Krabby Patty. Let's dive into the first mistake in this one. It's interesting.
What the flim flam?
Now, I'm totally overthinking this one, and to be honest, it's not even that noticeable of a mistake, which makes it even more fun to point out. Normally, Krusty Krab hats look like this, alright? And more importantly, they have an anchor on them. But if we watch this scene where SpongeBob is dropping the trays out of the chef's window, and we see this shot of Squidward, who is tweaking, by the way, that Krusty Krab hat is missing its anchor. We're zooming in here, and as you can see, the animators just did not draw the anchor, which is okay. This is a zoomed out shot, and like I said, no one would really even notice this. I sure noticed it, and I'm gonna notice more in this next episode. Let's keep the video moving and head over to another one, baby. Next up, we have the episode The Splinter, which is a very well-known episode of SpongeBob, but not because people like it. People actually hate this episode because there's a really gruesome scene where SpongeBob gets his splinter. Now, we're gonna get into the mistakes in this episode, but I'm actually gonna show you guys that scene really quickly, so just, yeah, take a look at this. Yeah, dude, that was gnarly, especially for a kid's cartoon, and you can see this is when SpongeBob started focusing less on like actual comedy and started using like grotesque humor and like grotesque scenes of Squidward or SpongeBob getting beat up to keep things entertaining. But anyways, we're not here for all that. We're here for mistakes. Here's the first one.
Well, maybe. I don't have to tell Mr. Krabs.
So first things first, during this scene where SpongeBob goes to touch his heart, look at his pants, all right? I don't even need to show you guys this, but here's a random shot of SpongeBob, and as you can see on his pants, he has his belt, all right? But in this one shot from the Splinter, when it zooms in, the belt is just gone, and I don't even get this one. Like sometimes, guys, if it's a super zoomed out shot, for example, the one where Squidward was missing his Krusty Krab hat, that's totally fine. It's a zoomed out shot. This is a zoomed in shot, so how they just didn't draw his belt is hilarious to me. So yeah, totally a mistake here. And here's one more from this episode.
So I use my nose. Makes sense now, right?
Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So at the very beginning of the episode, we can see that 2 Krabby Patties are ordered, SpongeBob makes them, and he puts them right here. All right, remember this. Because no one actually picks them up, but moments later, like seconds later in this scene, they're now gone. And like Squidward did not take those patties, so they just disappeared. Like it was kind of weird, to be honest with you. Now, let's get into the real spicy mistakes in today's video and head over to another episode. Stay tuned, guys, because I've got some wild mistakes coming up. Coming in hot is a season 13 episode. We've got some modern SpongeBob for you guys, all right? Now, the episode is Captain Pipsqueak, and this episode is awesome because we've seen the return of a ton of iconic villains from SpongeBob history. For example, the Tattletale Strangler, and even Dennis. But we're not here for all that, we're here for the mistakes. Here's the first one.
Wrong dumpster.
So this first one is funny. Now, during this scene where we can see Plankton inside one of the dumpsters, we can see that he doesn't have gloves on based on his hands. Remember this as it's important, because give it a few seconds and then when we get to this shot, look, his gloves are just randomly back on him again. So this was totally a mistake. You can see that at first they drew him without gloves and then they decided afterwards, oh, we're gonna put the gloves on. I highly doubt, dude, just put them on in the garbage, though that would be very hygienic, Plankton. Anyways though, here's another mistake from this one.
Smart thinking. You can go as Towel Man.
Don't be a Weisenheimer.
So this one is totally a nitpick on my end, but this right here is Karen, Plankton's computer wife. Dude, imagine marrying a computer. But anyways, it's his wife, all right? And as you can see in her design, she has blue hands. Here's another shot of Karen from another episode, and as you can see, she has blue hands. Well, take a look at her hands in this episode, Captain Pipsqueak, as they're randomly colored gray throughout this whole episode, which is very strange, as in even episodes after this one, for example, the flower pot, look, her hands are blue again. So this was just totally a weird mistake here where I guess they just didn't color her hands for this one episode. I don't really care, but I thought I would point it out because it's funny. And here's one more from Captain Pipsqueak. This one's very quick, but when Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob walk away after putting Plankton in the garbage bin, let's take a look at SpongeBob because his teeth are yellow. Go brush your teeth, bro. I'm always gonna make this joke whenever we get a yellow teeth error. It's actually a fairly common mistake in SpongeBob, but my boy, go brush those teeth, please. Anyways though, let's head over to another SpongeBob episode, guys, and stay tuned because I've got some crazy mistakes coming up. In the episode Friendiversary, take a look at this. Something's missing. Yeah, you guys probably caught this one. It's pretty easy. Where is the back door to the Krusty Krab? Like, it's a cartoon, you know, it's fine, I get it, but the back door should be there. It's been there ever since like the first season. And also, by the way, take a look at this shot right here. As you can see, the Chum Bucket and Krusty Krab are canonically across the street from one another. Well, where is the Chum Bucket in this shot of Friendiversary? It's just not there. So yeah, a couple mistakes in this one right here. And let's keep it moving, guys. These ones were minor. It's time we get into the really bad mistakes today. Let's head over to another episode. Who remembers Picture Day back at school? Well, there's an episode completely based on this in SpongeBob called, well, Picture Day. It's from season 5. Now, this episode has two really bad mistakes that we're gonna dive into, but it also has a bunch of funny moments, so roll some funny clips from this episode, and then we'll get right into the spicy mistakes.
Please, you gotta spare me. I've got picture day today.
Oh, pictures, huh?
You guys know what time it is. Let's expose the mistakes in this episode. Roll the footage. Here's the first one.
Well, I'm not sure how I did it, but I
Fiddlesticks.
Did you guys catch it? Well, look at SpongeBob's pants during this scene as a part of it turns yellow. I'm zooming in so you guys can really see. Yeah, that part right there beside his arm is yellow, and that's like incorrect. That's a major mistake by the animators. And here's another mistake from this episode, but this one's a lot more technical, so pay close attention.
That moody brooding. This will clean you up.
You guys might have caught it from the clips we just played, but I'm sure I'll need to explain this one. So we can see that Tom Kenny, this guy right here, here's a picture of him, is credited as the photographer at the boating school. And we can see that Bill Foggerback, I totally butchered his name, but this guy right here, is credited as the trucker who is blinded by sunlight. But here's the problem, listen to the clips again.
That moody brooding.
This will clean you up.
Yeah, the animators or whoever edited this episode got it completely flipped. It's actually Tom Kenny who voices the trucker, and it's actually Bill who voices the boating school photographer. So a bit of a technical mistake here, like their credits got swapped clearly, and as you can tell, it's their voices on those characters. So yeah, interesting mistake here. And we've got even cooler ones coming up, so stay tuned and let's head over to another episode, baby. Let's go. Home Sweet Pineapple. In this episode, SpongeBob loses his iconic pineapple home, but what really matters here are the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
Hooray, Gary! We're finally huge!
Did you guys catch it? Well, as you guys just seen, there's a moment at the beginning of this episode where we see SpongeBob sit upon his bed. And as this happens, look, the back of the bed just disappears. I have no idea how I even noticed this one, but yeah, the back of your bed doesn't just disappear randomly, especially when there's shots in this episode of his bed with the back of it being there. So yeah, but let's head over to the next mistake in this episode.
Yeah, me too.
Yep, this is great.
This one is just funny. So, before Squidward returns to bed in the scene you guys just saw, after he gives SpongeBob a nice glass of water, this pillow right here is square, alright? Remember this, I'm zooming in, it is a square pillow, only fit for one person. But as the scene progresses and Squidward eventually goes to bed with SpongeBob, the pillow has just randomly changed, and it's now suddenly rectangular and wide enough for two people. Here's like a side-by-side, as you can see. Originally, it was like a single person square pillow, and then now it just changes to like a rectangle. I don't know, maybe they got an additional pillow, but this all happens in a matter of seconds. So yeah, a bit of a continuity error here. And there's one more from this episode, guys, and then we're gonna head over to another episode. Take a look at this. Now this one is a little more subtle, alright? But take a look at this shot of SpongeBob right here. A big part of his design is this red line that's under his mouth all the time. Even back in the first episode of SpongeBob, he always has this red line underneath his mouth. Well, when SpongeBob is shivering in the clips you guys just saw, he's not only missing about 3 of his teeth, as you can see here, but as I mentioned, that red line that's supposed to be under his mouth is missing for about a split second. Like I said, this only happens for like a split second. It's not that big of a deal, but it's still a mistake and that red line should be there. But guys, let's keep the fun going and head over to another episode of SpongeBob with even wackier mistakes. Let's do it. Next up, we have a season 7 episode, Greasy Buffoons. Now, this episode's a bit of a mixed bag for me. I don't hate it, but it's also not my favorite episode. Of course, though, it has mistakes. That's why I'm mentioning it, because this video is about SpongeBob mistakes. It has 2. Roll the first one. Let's see if you guys can catch it. Yeah, so as you guys know, SpongeBob is not the best driver. I mean, Mrs. Puff has to deal with this dude crashing the boat all the time and failing his driving exams. But for some reason in Greasy Buffoons, randomly out of nowhere, SpongeBob is shown to drive a truck perfectly, while in other episodes, as I've mentioned, he does not know how to drive a boat at all. Furthermore, SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are shown driving along to what seems to be a highway to drop off the grease to the chum bucket, and this itself is also a mistake, as canonically, the chum bucket is right across the street from the Krusty Krab, as you can see in some of these shots. Here's one shot right here. As you can see, they're directly across from one another. So yeah, 2 mistakes in one scene right here. SpongeBob should not be able to drive a truck, and the Krusty Krab and chum bucket should be directly across from each other. They shouldn't need to drive on a highway to get there. But anyways, there's another mistake in this episode that's even spicier. Roll the clip.
No extra pay.
This one is really funny, and you need to pay close attention to really catch it. But when Squidward vanishes in the clips you guys just seen, he like fades away, alright? It's after he's been told to clean out the grease trap. He fades away, but he can still be faintly seen standing in the same spot he was before once he actually fades away, as you can see here. It's very faint. You can see it right here. He was supposed to completely disappear, but the animators messed up a little bit and left like a little bit of him there. And like I said, it's a really funny mistake. Not as funny as the mistakes coming up though, guys. Things are going to get wild. Texas, this episode is all about Sandy wanting to go back to Texas and getting a little homesick. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna show the 3 mistakes in this episode. They're really bad, but here are some funny clips from this episode just to jog your memory on it. It's very nostalgic, and then we'll get to the mistake.
I miss my 20 acres, barbecues and pecan pies. Oh, why?
Such an iconic episode, but even iconic episodes like this have mistakes. Here's the first one.
Surf's up, Sandy.
No thanks.
This one's subtle. The other two mistakes in this episode are a lot worse, so stay tuned. But whenever Patrick and SpongeBob try to catch jellyfish, our girl Sandy Cheeks over here, her outline just randomly turns green. Like, look, I'm showing it in slow motion, and it's just randomly green. Normally, it's like black, as you can see in this shot, but in this one shot, the outline just randomly turns green, which is very weird. But what's also weird is this other mistake from Texas. Roll the clip.
I'm warning you, SpongeBob.
Look, Patrick, I'm Texas.
Yeah, so remember that bottom lip outline, that red line that's under SpongeBob's mouth that I mentioned earlier on in the video, right? This thing right here. Well, right before SpongeBob and Patrick start walking around in a circle in this episode, Texas, dude, look, SpongeBob has 2 of those lip outlines. It's kind of funny. Back in the other episode we talked about, he was missing it, but in this one, he has 2, which was totally like an animation glitch. This has never happened since or before this, and is totally a mistake, and so is this next one. This is also a really bad mistake. Take a look at these clips right here.
It's your own little slice of Texas. Homemade peas in a can pies. And we got our very own 10-gallon hat. So what do you think? You gonna stay?
This one's very, very weird, but during this scene, Mrs. Puff is there, all right? She's there and she's a part of the scene, but she just randomly disappears and cuts out when SpongeBob puts on his 10-gallon hat and is then not seen again for like the remainder of the episode. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but if you watch the scene, you'll see what I mean. It's very, very strange. But let's head over to another episode, guys. A couple more mistakes left to explore, and things are going to get spicy. Next up, we've got the inside job. Now, this episode's very underrated, and I don't feel like a lot of people have seen it, so before we get into the 2 awful mistakes in this episode, here are a couple clips recapping what happens in the episode. I'll make it quick, and then we'll get right into those mistakes, baby. Show that footage.
Where am I?
Okay, it's time for mistakes. Here's the first mistake in the inside job. Take a look at this.
Hey, the lights are back on.
Okay, did you guys catch that? Well, when SpongeBob screams as he notices the sponge patty he unknowingly made, our boy needs to brush his teeth as his teeth are yellow for like a split second. It happens really fast. And you know, this is actually a very common mistake throughout SpongeBob. But yeah, his teeth are yellow, and I don't think I need to tell you guys that that's a mistake. That shouldn't happen. And neither should this. Roll the clip.
Hey, everybody! Wait, that's not what I wanted to say.
Okay. So at the end, when Karen flies him out, the cap, this cap right here that's on Plankton, extends to cover Plankton entirely, all right? It covers him entirely, as you can see right here. However, though, once he's outside of SpongeBob, all right, it's no longer covering him anymore, making for a very awkward mistake. We have an episode that I don't think I've ever covered before at all. I could be wrong. The episode's 20,000 Patties Under the Sea. And dude, it's actually a really good episode. I feel bad for missing this one. I did find a couple of mistakes though. Sorry guys, we gotta ruin that childhood today. Here's the first one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Is he still after us, Patrick?
I don't know, buddy.
I know you guys got that one. If you didn't though, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. So it's pretty bad, but as SpongeBob and Patrick are running away from the jellyfish, look at SpongeBob's left shirt sleeve as boom. The animators just completely forgot to color it in. It only happens for like a split second, but look at that, I'm zooming in. It's just not colored in and it looks ridiculous. I don't even think I need to show you guys this, but here's a PNG of SpongeBob. As you can see, his sleeve does not look like this normally. So big mistake here, and here's another one from the same episode. I think you guys can catch this one. Take a look.
Please, contact imminent, Patrick. Respond now, please. I can't speak up, Patrick. There's a jellyfish over here and I'm worried it might sting me.
This one's very, very funny. It cracked me up a little bit, but take a look at SpongeBob's glasses at first, all right? They look like this, more specifically the frames or lens, not the frames, the lens, look like this. At first, they're not like fully circles. They're like a bit of a circle with the top being cut off with a line, as you can see here. But then later on, they just become these, where like the lens are just entire circles, which is most likely to represent his eyes being full. But here's a side by side. Those look like completely different pairs of glasses because of this. So totally a mistake here. I see what they were going for. This wasn't meant to be a mistake, but yeah, it's totally a mistake. Sorry, Nickelodeon, get wrecked. And here's another one from the same episode. 3 mistakes in one episode, what?
out there, Patrick? This!
What is it?
I don't know.
Okay, last one from this episode, and then we're gonna get into another episode with even spicier mistakes, but this submarine right here, we can see that it's stuck in the ground, and at one point, there's like this short distance between the grass in Jellyfish Fields, remember this, to the submarine that's stuck in the ground. Remember this grass, as later on when we get this shot, where is that grass? It should be over here by the submarine stuck in the ground, but it's like at first they drew the grass close by, but then forgot about this, and then when they got to this scene, they drew it without any grass, which is just kind of weird. Not as weird as the mistakes in this next episode, guys. Let's keep it moving. You're not gonna believe what's coming up. Coming in hot is an episode that I really like. It's Krusty Towers. In this episode, Mr. Krabs converts the Krusty Krab, a fast food restaurant, into like a hotel, and he goes all out. Look at this thing. It's a pretty nice hotel. We should go stay there, you know? Take a nice little trip over to Bikini Bottom, a nice little flight. Now, there's two mistakes in this episode. I'll admit the first one isn't the craziest. It's still a bad mistake, but the second one, that's where things are questionable. But yeah, here's the first mistake from Krusty Towers. Take a look at this.
And thus, the Krusty Towers was born.
Why would anyone stay at a hotel in Bikini Bottom?
Like I said, this one isn't too crazy, and it's a classic mistake. This happens all the time, but canonically, all right, the Chum Bucket and Krusty Krab are directly across from one another. This has been shown in so many episodes. I have footage on screen right here as an example, and to show you guys I'm not capping, here's another example, more footage showing that they're directly across from one another. Well, the writers for Krusty Towers or the animators must have forgotten about this, as whenever the outside of the Krusty Towers is shown, which by the way is the Krusty Krab, the crossroad that should be connecting the Krusty Krab to the Chum Bucket is just missing. Where is it? The path should be right here, but it's not there. Maybe Mr. Krabs got it removed when he converted the restaurant into the hotel, but I doubt it. I think this was just a little oopsies, a little mistake, all right? And here's another one from Krusty Towers. This one's interesting.
You run the front desk.
Here's your room key.
I'll need some help with my bags.
How can you have... I've got cash. Go!
Here's your room key.
SpongeBob, carry my things to my room.
Let's dive into this second mistake. Maybe you guys caught it, maybe you didn't, but let me explain. So, despite Squidward and Patrick both getting a room key for Mr. Krabs, they get a key, this bulletin board right here that has all of the keys on it stays the same, which might not sound like a mistake, but for example, here's the bulletin board before they get their keys with all the keys on it, meaning that when Squidward and Patrick got a key, there should be two keys like taken away from this bulletin board, which they didn't do, which I'm not even gonna call lazy. I mean, I'm just being like a nerd by nitpicking this, but I mean, come on, if Squidward and Patrick took keys from this bulletin board, the bulletin board would have two less keys. It just makes sense, but it's a cartoon and it's not that big of a deal. But let's head over to another episode that actually has some blatant errors. Like these mistakes coming up are massive. Up next, we have Pest in the West. This is a really special episode. I mean, it's literally a SpongeBob special, meaning it's longer than normal, but it's all about us going back in time to the Western days of Bikini Bottom, before SpongeBob, Patrick, or anyone was born, and it focuses on SpongeBob, this guy right here who looks exactly like SpongeBob, but he's a cowboy. Everybody's a cowboy in this episode. It's pretty fun. What isn't so fun though are the mistakes in this episode. They're actually really bad in this one. Here's the first one.
Nope.
Ow! Huh?
So throughout a majority of this episode, like 70% of the episode, SpongeBob here, who isn't SpongeBob and is from the past, is always seen wearing these black cowboy boots, all right? Black cowboy boots because shoes, like running shoes, were not invented yet. Most likely, at least. I mean, I highly doubt that back in like the 1800s, people were walking around in Jordans and Yeezys, you know what I mean? So yeah, the black boots make sense for this episode. But then, randomly at that 70% point, I guess the animators forgot about the boots because from there on out, SpongeBob is just randomly wearing his like modern day socks and shoes. And it stays like that for the remainder of the episode. I get it, this is part of SpongeBob's design, but this is SpongeBuck. And again, we're like years in the past, so running shoes wouldn't really be a thing yet. So this is actually like a really bad mistake if you think about it. It's like the animators completely forgot about the boots. But anyways, I'm rambling, I'm talking all this smack. Here's another mistake from this episode.
It was a town that lived under the tyranny of a nasty no good galoot Deadeye. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
Thank you, Sheriff SpongeBob, for saving our town.
This one's a little more complicated, but the buildings in Deadeye Gulch, which is like the town this episode takes place in, are constantly changing throughout the episode. The Krusty Cantina and the bank are mostly the same throughout the whole episode, but some buildings change color and name. The Deadeye General Store, which you can see right here. As the episode progresses, it just randomly turns into Deadeye Boots, a completely different store in this shot right here. Like, what's going on? It's in the exact same spot that it was before too, so this was totally a mistake. All right, so we just covered various episodes with a couple of mistakes in each episode, like 2 or 3, all right? But now we're gonna talk about an episode with like 10 mistakes in the one episode. The episode is The Paper. How it's gonna work is I'm gonna play the clip with the mistake, and then I'm gonna come back and explain what the mistake is, all right? Here is the first one from The Paper.
I'm partial to doing it in the key of A minor myself.
I wouldn't be surprised if you guys didn't really catch that first mistake from this episode. It's kind of technical and you need to be like a musician to get it, which by the way, Cartoon Corey's a musician. Here's a quick clip of my band, by the way. Yeah, Cartoon Corey's a goofy goober rocking out, all right? But anyways, the mistake here is that the sheet music shown on screen as SpongeBob makes music with the paper is completely incorrect, and it does not match the respective song at all. They literally just threw up like random sheet music that does not apply to this song at all. Like if we were to play the sheet music on screen, it would not sound like the song that SpongeBob is performing. So yeah, weird mistake here, and here's another one from the paper. Things are gonna get spicy as we go.
Give me my paper back. Now let go of it. I said let go of it. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go.
So this one, we definitely need a side-by-side so you guys can see the issue. You might have caught it, but when Squidward is trying to take the paper from SpongeBob and ruin his fun, Squidward's skin color is much paler than normal. I'm a nerd for noticing this, but here's a side-by-side. We have a shot of how Squidward normally looks, look at his skin, and then look at him in this one shot, and you'll notice there's a difference between the coloring. It's really weird. Squidward's only like this in the paper for this one shot, and then he's back to his regular coloring. But yeah, really, really strange, guys. Here's another one that's even more strange, though.
So you don't want it?
Right.
Does that mean I can have it? Squidward? Squidward? Okay, Squidward, that's a promise I'll just have to keep.
You know, I said it was strange, but this one's just really, really funny. So when Squidward first shuts his door, all right, it has a handle, as you can see here. You can see it right here. It's like a handle you would grab with your hand and pull to open, all right? It isn't a door knob, which you'd spin. Remember this. As later on in the episode, when we get the same shot of his door, look, that handle, it was a handle before, is now randomly a door knob, which is just a very strange continuity error. Maybe Squidward renovated his door in the matter of seconds between these scenes, but yeah, I think this was a continuity error. First they drew it like this, and then they drew it like this. Pretty funny. And here's the next one.
Oh, Squidward, is this still part of the...
Yeah, so at one point, Squidward gets so desperate for that paper that SpongeBob's been having fun with, that piece of junk that he hated at the beginning. He wants it so bad that he literally trades his house for SpongeBob's paper. Insane. What's really insane, though, is during the scene, look, SpongeBob's teeth turn yellow for like a split second. Like, what? I say it all the time, guys, but SpongeBob, go brush your teeth, boy. So funny. Let's keep it moving, though. Here's the next one.
Give me my paper back. Now let go of it. I said let go of it. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go.
This one's a strange one that you really need to pay close attention for, and I also really need to explain it. But when Squidward tries to get the paper from SpongeBob, all right, we've already seen this happen, but when he tries to get it from SpongeBob, a weird light amount of green is shown, all right, and his outline is just randomly gone. Here's shots of Squidward from previous points in this episode, and as you can see, he has this black outline. It's a very common thing in 2D animation, but in this one scene, not only is there that random amount of green, but he's also just missing his outline, which I think this is a green screen error mistake because his outline's gone, and then we see that green, which would be from a green screen. I don't know for sure. This is just a theory, a game theory, but yeah, here's the next mistake from this episode. I have no idea how I caught this one. I'm very proud of myself. You guys might have caught it yourselves, but when Squidward is painting and gets distracted by SpongeBob's paper, his picture, the thing he was painting, has the mouth closed. Remember this? I'm zooming in. Remember, the mouth on this painting is closed, zip shut. But when he eventually breaks it and snaps it in half, one of the halves show the mouth is open with a smile. Here's a side-by-side. This is a total mistake here. First it was closed, like the mouth was closed, and now it has like a smile. I don't think Squidward refined his painting in the midst of snapping it in half, so very, very weird. And you know what's also weird? His next mistake, guys.
Time to relax.
This one I'm gonna make quick. It's a very common mistake. At the beginning of the episode, Patrick and SpongeBob's houses are missing. Here's a shot of Conch Street where SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward reside. And as you guys know, it should go Patrick's house, Squidward's house, and then SpongeBob's house. But for some reason, even though the angle you should be able to see Patrick and SpongeBob's houses, they're just missing. They're gone. Poof. They didn't draw them. I don't know why. Be mad at Nickelodeon, but we've got one more left from this episode, guys, and it's a doozy. So for this one to make sense, let's take a look at SpongeBob's house. We just seen it in that image of Conch Street, but here's one focused on his home from an actual episode of SpongeBob. And you'll notice it has a chimney right here. Remember this. As a matter of fact, let's go back in time to like 1999 to the first episode of SpongeBob. And look, there's a chimney on his house as well. It's been like this forever. Well, when SpongeBob tries on Squidward's shirt in this episode, the animators just forgot about this because his house is missing its chimney. Here's a side-by-side. There should be a chimney, but it's not there. Crazy, man. There's so many mistakes in SpongeBob, but that's gonna do it for today, guys. And if you want more SpongeBob mistakes, click this video right here. It has some of the spiciest mistakes I've ever covered, guys. Like 50 mistakes in one video, so click it. And I'll see you guys over there. We'll hang out, we'll eat some Krabby Patties together, and we'll expose some mistakes. Click it. Click that video. I'll see you over there. Peace.
Traffic storm.
Well, just leave my present over on the present table. I'm so excited, I've been waiting for a whole year.
Next up is another episode from season 6, that being overbooked. This episode is all about SpongeBob being, well, overbooked. The dude just doesn't have time for anything. It seems though that the animators also didn't have time, as they overlooked a couple of mistakes in this episode that I'm about to expose. Roll the footage.
Happy birthday! No!
You finally made it!
Alright, so when Patrick's rock first opens in this scene, take a look at his party hat, okay? It's red. You can see it right here. Remember, it's red. However, in the next scene, this randomly changes. Like, coloring mistakes like this are hilarious when it just randomly changes. As it was red, but his party hat now changes to purple. Like, what? What's going on here? Like, how does it just change colors randomly? That looks like lazy animation to me, and that's not it for this episode. Here's another mistake.
Further delay, I shall initiate proto sequence.
Sandy, I hate to delay the proceedings, but I forgot to mail in this mail.
Take a look at these shots of Sandy cheeks. Our girl Sandy has a big furry tail. It's a big part of her character because she's a squirrel and squirrels have tails, right? Well, in Overbooked, the animators forgot about this, as when Sandy says, without further delay, I shall initiate the proto sequence, her tail is missing. And it's not because of the angle, they just were too lazy to draw Sandy Cheeks' tail. Give my girl her tail back, she needs it. And guys, there's another mistake in this episode. Roll the footage.
Have I?
Hello? My birthday cake!
Oh yeah, that! I'm just getting to that. That's why I was here in town.
It's really easy to miss, like very easy to miss. But before SpongeBob walks away to get a cake, man, now I want cake, guys. I'm hungry. Cake is so good. But as he walks away to get a cake, take a look at his left leg as it's entirely white for a split second. I mean, don't get me wrong, SpongeBob's socks are supposed to be white, but his leg is supposed to be yellow. So this was another just really bad mistake. This episode's pretty rough in terms of mistakes, guys, but let's keep it moving and head over to another episode with even more spicy mistakes. You don't want to miss them.
The one that's obviously not a robot. Okay. Ow. Why'd you do that? You told me to. I told you to hit the robot.
here's another quick mistake from another cartoon we haven't really covered before, that being The Amazing World of Gumball. We're always talking about Nickelodeon on this channel, it's about time we talk about Cartoon Network a little bit. Anyways, the episode can be found in the episode The Robot, and for context, it has to do with this lovely character right here, Gumball, okay? So pay attention to him. Roll that footage.
What?
Cupcake! Cupcake! What do you think you're doing? When I said you could copy me, I didn't mean steal my life!
So during this cafeteria scene where Gumball, the character we just mentioned, yells at Bobert, what a weird name, for about a brief moment, if you watch closely, this dude's entire mouth becomes the same color as his head. It's not supposed to look like that. I don't know how this happened. What a weird mistake, but okay, back to SpongeBob. But remember guys, leave a comment, let me know other cartoon mistakes you want me to cover. Any other cartoon on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, who knows? I'll even do The Simpsons if you guys want it, but yeah, let's head over to SpongeBob. This next section is all about OG SpongeBob, the classics. I'm talking about the very first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode. Damn, this episode makes me feel old because it came out so long ago. Here are some funny and hilarious clips from this episode because it's a really good one. Then we'll get into the mistakes. Roll the footage.
Here comes the TV repairman.
What do you want from us?
Hold on, just let me look at you. This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
Now, one thing I missed though back when I was a kid watching this episode was the mistakes. Here's the first one.
And I'll be taking that.
Ah! Help! Help! Help!
It's working.
This first one is weird, and it kind of took me a couple of seconds to realize that it was a mistake. So, at one point, SpongeBob hands Patrick his purse and peers out from behind the building. But when this happens, if you look, the purse can be seen floating beside him. He isn't actually holding it, the purse is just literally floating there. Like I said, it's a weird mistake, you guys might not be catching it, I'm gonna zoom in, but that purse is just floating there, and yeah, talk about a weird mistake, and there's more. Here's another mistake from this episode.
Excuse me, Mermaid Man.
What do you want? Oh, this better be good.
This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
This is another one that's easy to miss, but once you see it, you'll see it every time you re-watch the episode. As it seems that SpongeBob's pores are reversed when he says, "Excuse me, Mermaid Man." Normally, SpongeBob looks like this, and I want you to pay attention to the holes all over SpongeBob. Those are his pores. A lot of you know this, but to the younger viewers, pay attention to the holes. As you can see in this shot, they look like this. This is how they're supposed to look. But during this one scene in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1, his pores are just reversed. Here's a side-by-side where you can see him normally, and then with the pores reversed, you can see it now. It looks pretty bad. Next up, let's head back to where it all began, SpongeBob Season 1 with the episode Jellyfishing, an iconic episode. This episode's so much fun. It really brings me back to my younger years, but what I missed as a kid were the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
That ought to do it.
Okay, so for this one to really make sense, I need to remind you guys of a big part of this episode. So as you can see, Squidward's in this giant cast. And in order for him to hold his jellyfishing net, SpongeBob and Patrick do this. Take a look at this clip real quick.
Firmly grasp it.
Ouch! But as you can see, it's like stuffed into Squidward's hand. He isn't actually holding it. It was like stabbed into this dude's hand, so he wouldn't be able to change which hand he's holding it in. Well, that's exactly the mistake, as if you watch throughout the episode, the jellyfishing net changes hands multiple times despite this not really being possible. Again, it was like stabbed into this dude's hand, which ouch, that would really hurt. But more importantly, dude wouldn't be able to change the hand that's holding the jellyfishing net, so a mistake here. Next up is a quick one from the Patrick Star Show episode, Clopnodian Heritage Festival. Roll the footage and pay attention to Cecil over here, as the mistake has to do with him, more specifically his face.
It seems the boy is sweat shy. Would you mind turning away?
It only happens for one frame, so it's very easy to miss, but when Cecil over here talks to these older men in the Flop Sweat Lodge, dude's entire mustache turns blue for a whole frame. Like, what? It's not supposed to be blue. This is how Cecil normally looks. It's supposed to look like this. But for this one frame, dude's mustache is blue. It looks fresh. I guess he's like an emo kid. He dyed his mustache blue. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's move over to another episode with more mistakes.
SpongeBob, will you make that racket stop? SpongeBob, you open this door right then!
Season 4 Squidward is an interesting episode where SpongeBob makes a puppet version of Squidward that people like more than regular Squidward. I don't know about you guys, but that would really upset me. That would cheese me, dude, if people liked a puppet version of Cartoon Corey more than real Cartoon Corey. But anyways, this episode has a mistake. Keep those eyes peeled, guys. I want you to spot this one without my help. Leave a comment on what the mistake is before I reveal it. Roll the footage.
Can I take your order?
No, I don't like your attitude, bub. Is this what the Krusty Krab calls friendly service?
So take a look at this shot of the inside of the Krusty Krab, okay? It looks like this. We've got Squidward's cash register right here. There's the order window where SpongeBob would give Squidward the Krabby Patties, and there's the door to Mr. Krabs' office, okay? It's a really big part of the inside of the Krusty Krab. Well, during this scene when Sandals over here is placing his order, both the door to Mr. Krabs' office and the window to the kitchen are missing. This is a really weird mistake to make. It seems the animators were just too lazy to draw something as simple as Mr. Krabs' door, and I mean, this window right here is so important. The door I get, but the window to the kitchen where SpongeBob literally pops out all the time, how did the animators miss that? But whatever, here's another mistake.
That was awful!
Take a look at this old geezer right here. This is Incidental 92. He is this greenish color, okay? He's been other colors, but literally 90% of his appearances, he's been this green tone. Now, the mistake is that in Squidward, during this one shot, when Squidward is tweaking and snapping on mini Squidward over here, Incidental 92 is incorrectly colored as purple, which is just totally a mistake. Because as you guys seen, literally early on in the episode, the dude is green, and then he just changes colors. I don't know if that's possible. He looks good purple, but that's not how it works, guys. You can't just change the color of your skin in a matter of scenes. So yeah, a mistake. Let's keep this party going though, guys, and head over to our next episode. We've gotten to see many grandmas in SpongeBob. We've seen SpongeBob's grandmother in this iconic episode here, and we've also seen Mr. Krabs' grandmother before, even Squidward's. But in the season 7 episode, Grandma's Secret Recipe, we get to meet Planktons. Take a look at this.
That looks simply delightful.
You once told me that this was your favorite flavor growing up as a child.
Ration?
I will say, as much as I like the plot for this episode, it is one of the most pointless episodes of SpongeBob ever, and it is kind of boring, so I don't recommend it. And there's no surprise that there's a mistake in the episode. Roll that footage!
Oh, great Grammy Ma, you win again! All hail the great Canasta Master!
This one's very subtle, but once I point it out, you'll see that it's really bad. So when Plankton and SpongeBob are playing cards over here, the animation cell for the table in the background, this one right here, seems to be placed above SpongeBob's. So if you watch closely, parts of SpongeBob's left hand are erased or cut off multiple times when it goes near the table. I'm zooming in and putting it in slow motion right here, and look, you can see that his fingers get cut off because they go behind the table or something. It's a weird animation error. How this happened, I don't know, but they gotta be more careful because this one just looks rough, dude. What?
Dish. I wonder what it could mean. Shh, quiet. Try to think.
Here's another one from the Patrick Star Show. I really do feel like this show is overrated. It's a bit of a weird spinoff, but anyways, here's the first mistake.
It's Robot Gardener Day!
I can't hear you because it's Robot Gardener Day.
Okay, so this character right here is Incidental 41, okay, and he looks like this. Now, in Patrick's Alley, we get this baby version of him. He's so adorable, I want to pinch his cheeks. Now, what's important is that Incidental 41's mouth, right here, his mouth and lips, are always purple, okay? Even in this episode, the baby version, we even see him with a purple mouth. But during this scene, when the babies are seen on the lawn, Incidental 41's mouth, well, baby Incidental 41's mouth, is awkwardly colored yellow randomly just for this scene. Like I said, it's purple throughout the episode, but in this one scene, it's yellow, and that is incorrect. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just a character's mouth, but yeah, this is a mistake, and there's another one in this episode. We might have covered this one in the past, so I'm actually going to keep it quick, but while Patrick and Squidina are fishing, there's one frame where Squidina's left eye is purple, the same color as her body, so totally a mistake here, and guys, there's more to come. Let's head over to another episode. Up next is another Season 4 episode, this time, The Scent of Money. Now, this episode's actually pretty good. Take a look at some of these funny scenes.
You said that pets were nothing but disease-carrying vermin that should never be brought to the workplace?
It sure is hard being triggers.
Yeah.
Dude, seeing Mr. Krabs dressed up like a lady like this is so funny. Like, look at this dude. But this scene's also where we can spot a mistake. Roll the footage.
You look fine to me. Quit being such a baby and start making me some money. Excuse me, pregnant.
Yeah, so when Mr. Krabs is freaking out at Gary and just being like a psycho and says, now quit being such a baby and start making me some money, Mr. Krabs has problems, dude, what? Anyways though, as Mr. Krabs says this, the spots and spiral on Gary's shell disappears, like it's just gone. It's so weird seeing Gary like this. I'm zooming in, and him with just a bare pink shell is so weird. And it's not the only time it happens in this episode. It also happens during this scene.
Oh, who do you think you are? Jackpot!
Yeah, so take a look at this during the arcade scene. As Mr. Krabs lifts Gary up, at least the swirl's there, but the dots are gone. A little reminder for you guys, this is normally how Gary looks. He has the swirl and he has these dots right here. But when Mr. Krabs picks him up in this shot, those dots are just gone. Where'd they go? They're missing. SpongeBob Season 7 has a lot of hit or miss episodes, but the episode Welcome to Bikini Bottom Triangle is actually pretty good. It's one of the stronger episodes out of the season. Here, take a look for yourself. Take a look at some of these hilarious gags from the episode.
Yeah, backwards. What a stupid idea that.
Okay, it is mistake time, guys. Here's mistake number 1. Put your mistake glasses on and let's find it together.
And those two couldn't have made it, so it must have been that rotten pipsqueak Plankton. I gotta stop that poor excuse of a life form from it.
It happens really, really, really fast. But when Mr. Krabs says, so it must have been that rotten pipsqueak Plankton, this man seriously has beef with Plankton, but when he says it, take a look at our favorite Krabs left sleeve. As it turns red, it turns to the same color as his skin. Well, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. But if you want more mistakes just like this video, click this video right here. Do it. Click this video. I talk about plenty of more mistakes in SpongeBob and other cartoons, and you don't want to miss them. They're wild. Seriously, there's one mistake in this video that almost got SpongeBob canceled. So click the video. Let's go and watch it together. I'll see you guys over there. Click it. Do it. We ain't wasting any time today. Let's jump right in with our first episode, Once Bitten, and talk about this crazy mistake. I'm gonna roll the footage. I want to see if you guys can find this one.
Gary, I knew you weren't disease-ridden. You still love me? Meow. Good old Gary's back.
Pretty weird, huh? Well, if you didn't catch it, I got you covered, don't worry. So, during this scene where SpongeBob says, I knew you weren't disease-ridden, take a look at Incidental 27's shirt. More specifically, the sleeves, as at first it was purple, but for this one spot, it just randomly turns blue. I'm sorry guys, but your clothing doesn't just randomly change color. First his sleeve was purple, now it's just randomly blue. The animators messed up. And to make things worse, it changes back to purple again. But alright, here's another mistake from this episode. So this elderly lady right here, okay, as you can see, she's wearing this beautiful dress and it's purple. But if we watch closely during this scene where these zombies are chasing SpongeBob, poor SpongeBob, that old lady's dress, like I said, it was purple, is now green. It just randomly changed colors, which is yet again another animation mistake. The animators first drew her with this purple dress, but I guess they forgot because they then drew her with a green one, like seconds later too. Lots of mistakes in this episode, and guess what guys, there's another one. Roll the footage.
Gary, how could you?
This is definitely the worst one in this episode. This one's just bad. So, when SpongeBob says, "Gary, how could you?" Take a look at his legs. Well, you can't because SpongeBob's legs are missing. We only know this because of this small sliver at the bottom of the frame or the screen, but as you can see, SpongeBob's legs should be right there, but they're not. How in the world did the animators draw SpongeBob without his legs? Crazy, dude. But let's keep it moving, guys. You won't believe some of the mistakes that are coming up. Let's head over to another episode.
This job stinks.
This next one is a quick one, so let's, keep it quick. It's in the episode Perfect Chemistry. Take a look at this. Let's see if you guys can catch this mistake.
Interesting. The Krabby Patty formula will be mine! I mean, I think I have the right parts in my lab, maybe.
This one's obvious if you're like a hardcore SpongeBob fan. I can see some people missing it, but take a look at this scene from the iconic episode Tea at the Tree Dome.
There's no water in here. I tried to tell you.
If y'all needed water, you should have asked.
Okay, so now the mistake should be very clear. So as you guys seen in the original clip from Perfect Chemistry, Plankton transports himself into Sandy's tree dome. But there's something missing. Well, Plankton's a sea creature, so just like SpongeBob and Patrick, he needs an air helmet or he'll literally you guys know what will happen, it won't be good. Without that helmet, Plankton's gonna end up like Smitty Worden Man Jensen from One Crab's Trash in that graveyard, baby. All right, let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
I drew this for you. The likeness is uncanny, if I do say so myself.
Next up, coming in hot, is the episode That's No Lady, an episode all about Patrick becoming a woman so he doesn't get kicked out of Bikini Bottom. It's funny, but what's more funny are the mistakes in this episode. They're very spicy. Here's the first one.
Nope. No way. No. No. No.
Were you guys able to catch it? Because if you look at Incidental 37A's eyes over here during this scene where Patrick shouts no, his eyes are looking pretty goofy. Those eyes are tweaking. This dude's bugging. Yeah, Incidental 37A's eyes are misaligned, which is a really bad animation mistake here. And guys, here's another one.
You forgot your flyer.
Get out of town to beautiful Sunny Shore Resorts.
Listen up, because this one's weird and requires you guys to really pay attention for it to make sense. So, when the first display of the vacation paper is shown, it reads, "To beautiful Seashore Resort." Remember this, it's important, okay? To beautiful Seashore Resort. Well, if you watch as the scene progresses and SpongeBob looks at the paper, it changes randomly. And now it says, "To beautiful Sunny Shore Resorts." At first, there was no S at the ending of resorts. But then literally seconds later when SpongeBob looks at it, there's now an S randomly added, which is, again, totally a mistake. It's not that big of a deal, but how did this mistake even happen? Okay, here's another one from That's No Lady. This one is a good one.
Must have something to do with this disguise. I can't wear this any longer.
Or if you reveal your secret identity, you'll have to leave Bikini Bottom.
As I mentioned before, a big part of the plot of this episode is Patrick dressing up as this beautiful woman. And as you can see, he rocks this green skirt right here. My boy's dripping. Or I guess my girl's dripping. Well, if we watch during this scene, when Patrick is crying over his new identity, that green skirt actually turns yellow for a fraction of a second before changing back. Which seems to be more of an animation glitch. I don't think the animators did this. I think when rendering this episode or something, it glitched out and it turns yellow for just a fraction of a second. It's still technically a mistake though. And guys, we've got more, so don't click off yet. The mistakes coming up are unbelievable.
Patrick, Ernie's gone.
No, he's not. He's everywhere.
You know, with all of the criticism that Camp Coral gets, I'm not surprised with how many mistakes are actually in the show. It is weird though, considering it's 3D animated. I say this all the time, 2D animated shows, guys, have way more of a chance of having mistakes because it's drawn digitally, whereas 3D animated shows are like 3D models, so it's weird. But anyways, the episode is Prisky Pests, and here's the mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Take a look.
Good night, SpongeBob.
Good night, Patrick. Good night, Ernie.
Now, to be honest, this one's very minor. It's not that big of a deal. It's not gonna blow your brain like some of the other mistakes I'll be covering later on in the video, so stay tuned. But when SpongeBob tells Ernie good night, take a look at Patrick's mouth, as both SpongeBob and Patrick's mouths move to SpongeBob's line, but if you listen, Patrick doesn't actually say anything, so his mouth moves despite Patrick saying nothing. Literally nothing's coming out of that mouth. So I don't know why they animated his mouth to move. It was most likely a mistake. Hey, like I said at the beginning, I was honest, it's not that big of a deal, but this next mistake we're going to be covering in another episode, that you don't want to miss. The season 4 episode, Squidtastic Voyage, is a pretty fun episode with SpongeBob and Patrick going inside Squidward's body. Take a look at some of these scenes and then we'll get into the mistakes.
As long as someone competent is behind the wheel. What's that?
Shrink. I do have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode personally. It's a good one. But what I did not enjoy are the mistakes in this episode. I doubt the animators like them very much either, or Nickelodeon. Let's see if you guys can spot them.
Now's my chance to try out my new invention.
Up. Reporting for guard duty.
Okay, listen, because this is another like complicated one where you guys need to pay close attention. So in this first scene where the submarine is unveiled, we can see that the submarine is standing up on this like open platform. Okay, remember this, and look at the background, okay? Remember how all of this looks. This is the room where the submarine sits. Well, is it? Because it randomly changes. As later, when SpongeBob is guarding the submarine, the entire environment in room has changed. It's no longer up on an open platform, and it's now just in this room. Here's a side-by-side so you guys can see. It's kind of a weird mistake, but it's still a mistake. And here's another one from this episode.
Always wanting to do it the hard way. We're all set, Squidward. Are you ready for the sedative?
Are you sure this is safe?
This one is much, much, much worse. Take a look at Sandy over here, guys. What's missing? Yeah, our girl's tail is completely gone, and that's a massive part of her design. This mistake happens every once in a while, and it's a bad one. Not as bad as the next mistake in this upcoming episode, though. Let's move over there. Let's talk about some modern SpongeBob from season 9. The episode I'm talking about is Squid Plus One. Take a look at some of these hilarious scenes from this episode. This is a banger.
I thought you were some other idiot.
I guess I'm just this idiot.
That simpering buffoon. You have a great vocabulary. I know, indubitably.
Dude, I told you, it's really funny. What's not funny, though, are the mistakes in this episode. I know I use that segue all the time, but seriously, dude, take a look at this.
Sparkling kelp juice. Here's to me. Oh, that simpering buffoon.
I said mistakes, but there's actually only one, and it's pretty rough. But for a split second, Squidward's iconic wrinkles on his forehead, they've been there since his debut in season 1. Yeah, those wrinkles normally found on his forehead completely disappear during this scene where the doorbell rings. Pretty weird, huh? Well, we've got another one. Let's keep it moving. Next up is the Slumber Party, an episode all about Pearl wanting to have a slumber party, but Mr. Krabs being cheap, dude. Take a look at this. Look at the beginning of this episode. Mr. Krabs is cheap.
Have your allowance early.
Ketchup!
See, you put it on the crackers, and mamma mia, you got a spicy pizza pie.
Dude, he wanted to use ketchup as tomato sauce for pizza. Like, Mr. Krabs, you're a bad father, man. Jeez. All right, mistake time. Here's the first one.
Everyone having a good time? Yeah! Well, you can all thank my dad for making this possible.
Okay, so there's actually 2 mistakes in this one scene. During this beach party scene at the very ending of the episode, for one, we can see Flats the Flounder over here, but he's actually incorrectly colored as blue. Now look, incidental color changes are fairly common. It's still a mistake when it happens, but they're fairly common. Flats, on the other hand, is like a known character. So this is kind of inexcusable and it looks really weird. Like, why is he blue? That's not how he's supposed to look. This is how he's supposed to look, and this is a mistake. And like I said, that's not it for the scene, as if we look at the stage, there's this fish right here cheering, wearing a yellow shirt. But there's something missing. Yeah, his eyes are just completely not there. They're gone. Where is this dude's eyes? I'm zooming in. Where are they?
I feel like I need to scrub myself.
Hey, buddy, I warmed it up for you.
Patrick!
First up is a very iconic episode from season 1, that being Naughty Nautical Neighbors. I love this episode. I'm about to ruin some childhoods though, as here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Are you kidding? I've been playing bassinet for years. Squidward.
Likes Patrick more than SpongeBob.
Come on, I know you guys were able to catch that. If you didn't though, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. Let me break this first mistake down. So as you guys just saw in that scene, SpongeBob and Patrick are competing to be friends with Squidward, with SpongeBob claiming he can play bass, that way he can rock out with Squidward while Squidward's on the clarinet. Now, as this is happening, we can see this window in the background, okay? And what's important here is this isn't a normal window. There isn't any glass. It's just literally a hole in the wall. Remember this, there's no glass. Well, we have quite the continuity error here, as when Patrick eventually spoils their fun, this window has completely changed. It's like transformed into a regular glass window with even a hinge on the side. I mean, at first it looked like this, it was just a hole in the wall, but then it just turned into a real window. Talk about a really bad continuity error, guys. Like, this one's bad. And here's another mistake.
So this is what I find, huh? My best friend and my ex-best friend and rubber bath toys!
This one is admittedly not that big of a deal, but it is still a mistake. So, in this scene where SpongeBob catches Squidward and Patrick in the bathroom, like in the bathtub, we can see this sailboat toy in the bathtub. Now, just as SpongeBob says, so this is what I find, huh? This sailboat glitches out for a second and turns blue. Again, it's not that big of a deal, but it's not supposed to do that. This was like an animation glitch where it flashes for a second. Here's it again really quickly in slow motion. Weird, right? Like I told you. Let's move over to another episode though. These upcoming mistakes are really going to be unexpected. Be prepared, guys.
Fresh jellyfish jelly coming right up. Typical.
Next up, we've got a very quick mistake from the Camp Coral episode, Quest for Tyre. I'm gonna keep this section quick as I know a lot of you guys like SpongeBob over Camp Coral. Here's the mistake though, take a look at this. So throughout this episode, Patrick over here wears like a bandana on his head, okay? And as you can see, it's purple. However, seconds later, when the truck drives towards Patrick, look, like I said, that bandana was originally purple, but in this one shot, why is it red? Patrick didn't change bandanas in a matter of seconds. This was a mistake. This one's weird though, because Camp Coral is 3D animation, so that bandana would have been a 3D model. So how it changed colors is beyond me, but anyways, like I said, this section's gonna be quick. Let's head back over to good old-fashioned SpongeBob, baby.
Ooh, okay.
Hey, don't matter anyway, lad. She can't close us down. She closed us down! I ruined!
Let's talk about an episode from season 5. The episode is Banned in Bikini Bottom. There are a ton of mistakes in this episode, like a lot. Here's the first one.
Look at this wild hooligan.
This one requires you guys to really pay attention, so listen closely. This character right here is Miss Grustlepuss. She has a very big role in this episode, as she's the one who bans Krabby Patties from Bikini Bottom. Anyways, though, as you guys just saw, when Miss Grustlepuss over here blows her whistle, we can see that the whistle is connected to this black lanyard around her neck, alright? It's like a necklace, and the whistle's attached at the end. Remember this, you can see it right here, as in the next scene, like seconds later, when we see her again, everything has changed. Her whistle is no longer connected to a black lanyard, and it's now randomly connected to the thread of her shirt. Again, without the lanyard's just gone. Here's a quick side-by-side, like look at how different it is. This happens in a matter of seconds and is totally a mistake, guys, and here's another one from this episode. This one's worse.
Hello, and welcome one and all your money to ye old Krusty Krab.
I know you guys had to catch that one, as at the very beginning of the episode, when Mr. Krabs greets Mrs. Grustlepuss, where is my boy's belt? It's more specifically this shot in front of the Krusty Krab, like where is his belt? In the next shot, it's back, as you can see here, but in that one shot, my boy is missing his belt. What? If you thought that was bad though, stay tuned, guys. Lots of weird mistakes coming up. Listen, guys, if you're a fan of SpongeBob, then you're definitely going to like The Loud House. The Loud House is also made by Nickelodeon and is very closely tied to SpongeBob. For example, here's a really quick Easter egg of SpongeBob in The Loud House.
And you'd be right. Every Sunday at 8, it's the same thing.
Really, really cool stuff, and there's plenty more like that. So let's take a second to talk about The Loud House, and then I'll get right back to SpongeBob. For the mistake to make sense though, here's a little bit of context, okay? The mistake focuses around these two characters. Lori, she looks like this, and Lisa, who looks like this. All right, let's see if you guys can spot the mistake.
There it is!
Good morning, sir. I'm Kirby, your personal chauffeur for the day.
Did you catch it? It's really bad. So in this scene, when all of the sisters are running out of the house, if we pause at this frame, we can see that those two characters I mentioned, Lori and Lisa, are completely missing their bodies. I'm zooming in, you can see it here, those bodies are not there. They were just drawn as floating heads. How in the world do you forget to draw a character's body? I guess it's because of the type of shot it is, where there's a ton of characters on screen, but yeah, pretty bad. Let's head back over to SpongeBob though. The season 6 episode, Krabby Road, that season is rough, dude. It has some really bad moments, but Krabby Road is pretty good. Here are some really funny moments from the episode. We'll get into the mistakes right after.
Perhaps you didn't notice my new hairdo. What's this?
Dude, the idea of SpongeBob, Plankton, and just everybody starting a band is hilarious, and some of their outfits is just so funny. Look at Plankton, he looks like a classic rocker. Anyways though, it's mistake time, baby. Let's get into these mistakes.
My perfect dream body.
So this first one is a nitpick. It's technically a mistake though still, but let's take a look at SpongeBob's house, okay? From any other episode. This is how it looks, okay? Pay attention to the door and the size of the door. Well, in Krabby Road, take a look at SpongeBob's house again, as what in the world is going on with his door? It's like almost half the size of the house. Again, for reminder, look at this shot of his house from literally any other episode. It doesn't look like that. In this episode though, it's just really weird. That door is massive, and it's totally a mistake. It never looks like this, dude. Like, this one is just so strange. That is a big door. Here's another big mistake from this episode, though. This one's spicy.
You incompetent fool! Yes, the Krabby Patty formula is mine! I mean, we'll have a great time!
I have no idea how I caught this mistake, but listen closely. So when Plankton unlocks the door to the Krusty Krab, take a look at the key. That key is horizontal, as you can see right here, all right? It's horizontal. But as the scene progresses and we see the key again, now it's vertical. At first it was horizontal, now it's vertical, which is an understandable continuity error, but it's still a weird one. Lots of weird mistakes in this episode, huh? Like, they're not the normal types of mistakes we normally cover. These ones are just weird, like the door being huge.
Pardon me, Earth. You'll need to scooch over a bit. Woo! Bad meteor, bad!
The season 13 finale episode, Sandy Help Us. And your boy Cartoon Corey has already found a mistake. Take a look at this.
A giant meteor is headed straight for Earth. You're the only one that can save us.
You can count on me, sir!
So for this one to hit, let's take a look at Sandy right here. This mistake is fairly often, so you guys might already recognize it, but Sandy always has this badge on her suit with an acorn on it, okay? It's this right here. Well, when Sandy is flying and the computer screen comes out of her arm, we get this one angle and her badge should be there, but it's missing. The animators just forgot to draw it, or due to the nature of the scene, they just didn't draw it to be lazy or to save time. The mistake is only really during this angle anyways, as it should be visible right there. Like I'm circling it, this is where it should be. But anyways, let's head over to another episode. You guys won't believe the mistakes in this upcoming episode.
One wrong move and you'll blow the whole ocean sky high. The good times never last.
Let's head back over to season 13. The episode is Karen for Spot. And here, take a look at this first mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Well, I'm still a little mad.
This is a really weird one. So as SpongeBob, Gary, Plankton, and Karen are starting to laugh, we can see that they're on the chum bucket. We can see it in the background, like look here, here, and even before this, I'm pretty sure it shows them being like on the chum bucket. But as the camera starts to zoom out, they have like completely teleported as they are not on the chum bucket anymore. Like I said, at first you could see they were on the chum bucket, but now when it zooms out, they're just not there anymore, which is a really bad mistake. I don't know if it's as bad as this other one though. This one's rough.
So ones and zeros with you, honey. You probably made Spot bigger than me on purpose to make me feel small.
You guys probably caught it, but as Plankton and Karen argue, where is Plankton's mouth? The dude is always yapping on about stealing the Krabby Patty secret formula, so his mouth is kind of important. He needs that so he can complain. But yeah, his mouth is missing, totally a mistake, and it's actually like really bad. How do you forget to draw somebody's mouth? Mistakes happen though, let's keep it moving, gang. Hey, I've got another season 13 episode for you guys. The episode is Salty Sponge, and before we get into the mistakes, here's a couple of funny clips from the episode.
Still better than working with SpongeBob. You just gotta look tough.
I don't feel tough, Mr. Krabs.
This one's a good one, as it's really cool to see nostalgic references like this, like the Salty Spittoon first premiered or debuted back in season 1, 2, or 3, I'm pretty sure, so that's pretty rad. What isn't so cool though is the mistake in this episode. There's only one, but take a look at this.
Soon I will get a thrill, cooking patties on my grill. Krusty.
So, in this far out shot of the Krusty Krab, we can hear SpongeBob talking, but if we zoom in a little bit and we really pay attention to SpongeBob, we can see that his mouth is not actually moving when he's talking. Here's the same clip with audio again, but we're gonna keep zoomed in on SpongeBob and you'll see his mouth does not move.
Soon I will get a thrill, cooking patties on my grill. Krusty.
Yeah, that boy's mouth was not moving at all, which is a really bad mistake if you think about it, guys. Like, that's a rough one. But let's head over to another episode with an even worse mistake. I know I say that, guys, but they get worse as we go. This next one's from season 12. It's the episode Senior Discount, and again, it has tons of really funny scenes. Here are some hilarious scenes from this episode. Trust me, you guys don't want to miss these, and then as always, we'll get into the mistakes right after.
Defend the family's honor.
Respect your elders.
So, this dude right here is Grandpa Redbeard, and he's only appeared in like 2 episodes, Senior Discount and Grandpappy the Pirate. But in Senior Discount, they made a massive mistake with his design. Normally, with Grandpa Redbeard's design, his nose is red, just like Mr. Krabs. But in this one shot when Grandpa Redbeard is talking to Grandpa Jenkins, look at Redbeard's nose, as it's miscolored to the same color as his beard. It's like they thought when they were doing the coloring that his nose was a part of his beard. Massive mistake. And there's another one. Look at this.
Vacate the premises.
Yeah, so when the ancestors kick Mr. Krabs and Old Man Jenkins out, Mr. Krabs' eyelashes are transparent for 1 frame. And if we look at this same scene, the enter sign, here's a shot of the Krusty Krab from season 1. This enter sign is always right here. But during that same scene when the ancestors kick Mr. Krabs out, yeah, that enter sign is just gone. This is still a good episode, so I recommend watching it, guys, but yeah, lots of mistakes in this one that we'll definitely cover in future videos. But before you click off, guys, make sure to click this video right here where I talk about tons of other SpongeBob mistakes that you don't want to miss. Between me and you, the mistakes in this video right here are actually like worse than the ones I covered today, so click it. Click this video and I'll see you guys over there. Do it, click it. First up is the very new episode, Fun Believable, from SpongeBob Season 13. This episode just premiered and has 3 mistakes. Here's the first one.
Hey, Rube, should we come back later?
Yeah, later would be good.
Honestly, I had to double take for this one, as when Rube says yeah, later would be good, take a look at Sandy's stomach. It's missing, it's not supposed to look like that. Normally, as most of you probably know, Sandy looks like this, but in this one shot, yeah. I don't know what's going on with her stomach, but yeah, these SpongeBob animators messed up a little bit. Let's keep it going though and head over to mistake number 2 from this same episode.
Excuse us, Rube, but Patrick and I have something to show you. It's fun believable.
Show us what you got.
Now this one is just bad, as when SpongeBob says it's fun believable, his mouth disappears for a split second. Mistakes happen sometimes, but dude lost his entire mouth. SpongeBob needs that to eat Krabby Patties, so I mean, come on guys. Here's another mistake though, this one is just funny, so stay tuned.
We're ready for you, Rube.
Are you sure?
So take a close look at this scene while SpongeBob and Patrick rise out of these coffins, as SpongeBob's tie is colored brown like his pants. Normally SpongeBob's tie looks like this. I don't even think I need to show you guys, it's red, but for some reason here it's brown. It's most likely what happened here is the animators got mixed up with the color of SpongeBob's pants, which are brown, and made the tie the same color, but whatever. Mistakes happen, and I've got lots of more, even crazier mistakes than these ones, so let's head over to our next episode for today, guys.
I lost my pen.
You can borrow mine.
I lost something once. I lost something I couldn't live without. My identity.
Missing Identity is another season 3 banger. Such a good episode full of amazing moments, but it also has a mistake or two. And I hate to break it to you guys, here's some clips showing the mistakes.
Wait. Patrick!
Okay, so here's some context first. So as most of you probably already know, a big part of this episode is SpongeBob retracing his steps so he can find out where he lost his name tag, okay? So he goes through his day again and repeats steps that he did originally. But while SpongeBob is retracing his steps, he keeps missing a step between eating Snail Po and saying hi to Patrick. What is that step, you might be asking? That's putting his clothes on. As you can see in this shot, that was a big step, but when he's retracing them, he just skips it for some reason. Some of you guys might not really get this mistake here, but trust me, if you've watched the episode, it makes sense. Let's move over to another mistake that's a lot more digestible.
Guys, okay? Am I near the bathroom? Gary?
That last one was a bit weird. Like I said, you need to see the episode to get it, but this one is way more blatant. So when SpongeBob is tumbling downstairs, ouch, that must have hurt, the stairwell that's normally in SpongeBob's house wraps around the right side of the pineapple instead of the left. Normally it looks like this. Like any episode, if you pull up the inside of his house, you can see that the stairwell wraps to the left. But in this one episode, the animators must have forgot it or flipped the assets because it wraps around the right this time, which is wrong. It's wrong. Anyways, though, let's move over to some worse mistakes, guys. Trust me, stay tuned. This next one is bad.
By the all-seeing eye, ye are worthy, we are not.
What are you two idiots doing?
Next up is the episode Good Neighbors, which is a pretty underrated episode in my opinion, but let's get into the juicy details. I know you guys want the mistakes. Here's mistake number 1.
Go out and paint all the leaves on the trees. Now, out. That'll keep them busy for a...
See you later, Squidward!
So this is another funny one, as when Squidward pushes SpongeBob and Patrick outside to go paint the leaves on the trees, as you can see, the door opens into the house, right? So if you were to open the door goes inside the house. I'm showing you it in slow motion, pay attention. But here's the issue, when SpongeBob and Patrick reappear and say see you later Squidward, the door now opens to the the outside of the house. If you were to open the door, it comes outside. So this is a major mistake here. First, it opens up like this. Now it opens up like this. And I'm sorry, guys, that's not how doors work. It is a cartoon, but that's not how doors work. Here's another mistake, though. Stay tuned. This one is just as bad.
SpongeBob.
Good morning, Squidward.
All right, so take a look at this shot of Conch Street. As you can see, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward's house all have these pathways, okay? They all look different, but they have a path getting to their house. Well, when Squidward hears SpongeBob's alarm clock go off in this episode, the ladder's pathway is missing. It's just gone. Poof, where is it? What's funny is it does appear in the episode, but during this one shot, the animators, I guess they just didn't want to draw it. They were feeling kind of lazy because it's not there. That's not it though. Believe it or not, this episode actually has 3 mistakes. Here's the third one.
You did overlook one teensy little detail, however.
What's that, Squidward?
It's Sunday!
It's very easy to miss, but pay attention as before Squidward yells, "It's Sunday," SpongeBob's pupils become uncolored for a split second. They just have no color and they're not supposed to look like that, dude. I mean, seriously, what a mistake. How does this even happen? And there's more. Let's move over to our next episode. Yeah, your boy Cartoon Corey is addicted to season 3 because I have yet another season 3 episode. I'm talking about Midlife Crustacean. Here's some clips from this episode because it's really funny.
Show up at my house at 8 o'clock.
I just want to warn you, Mr. Krabs, we're always fashionably late.
8:01 p.m.
Now, we might have covered this mistake in the past. I don't think we have, so I'm gonna make it quick, but during the panty raid scene, take a look at Mrs. Krabs' house.
For some credit, old man. We're panty professionals.
Good night, Mr. Krabs.
Good night, SpongeBob.
Eugene, lights out.
As you can see, it's blue. It's a beautiful home. Like, it's a very beautiful home, but it doesn't stay blue, as at the end of the episode when we see SpongeBob talking to a grounded Mr. Krabs, now it's pink. It just changes colors. I highly doubt anybody painted the house in between these scenes, so this was a bad mistake, and let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
Do you mind? Don't worry, Squidward. We're boating buddies now.
Let's kick things off with a fairly good episode from SpongeBob Season 6. I'm talking about boating buddies. Here's the first mistake. Roll the footage.
There is no we. Understand?
Quiet in the front, please.
Oh, I understand. I understand perfectly.
This first mistake is funny, as you can tell that the animators didn't think that we'd notice, but nah, Cartoon Corey has the eyes of a hawk. As during this classroom scene, when Mrs. Puff says, "Quiet in the front, please," take a look at SpongeBob's side belt through his desk, as his belt is missing. His pants are just brown. There should be his belt right there, but you can tell that because he was in the chair, the animators just were kind of lazy and didn't draw it, which I get, but hey, it's still a mistake. He should have his belt on, and let's keep it moving. Here's an even crazier mistake, guys. Roll the footage.
And that you didn't need me.
No, I didn't. I never said that.
I don't need your help, and I don't need you.
Jerk.
So as you can see, in this scene where Squidward is talking to SpongeBob about him needing his help, Incidental 7 over here is pink. Alright, she's pink. Remember this, you can see her right here. However, in the very next shot, she just changes colors. First she was pink, but now she's purple. Hey, she looks good purple, but she's supposed to be pink, and I don't think people can just change the color of their skin in the middle of a cartoon episode, so this was another mistake here. I don't know what happened, but yeah, she's not supposed to be purple, she's supposed to be pink. Believe it or not though, that's not it for this episode. 3 mistakes in 1 episode, damn. Here's the third one.
Squidward, you can have the $5 back. Mr. Krabs says
I
that—
don't care what Mr. Krabs says. I just want—
It happens back at the beginning of the episode, but when Squidward says, "I don't care what Mr. Krabs says," SpongeBob leans backwards slightly, and if you look closely, his black belt, which is, supposed to be black, turns white. It's not supposed to look like that. I mean, it looks cool, but it's not supposed to look like that. 3 mistakes in 1 episode, sheesh. And that's not it, guys. Let's head over to another episode with even more mistakes. Stay tuned, you will not believe what's coming up.
Oh my gosh! Jeffrey, jellyfish! Oh, wait, Jeffrey! I have to touch you!
Hey!
Here's a really quick mistake from SpongeBob Season 2. The episode is I'm Your Biggest Fanatic. I love this episode. Here's the mistake. Roll the footage.
Am I in the jelly spotters now? No. Now? No. Now? No. Now?
This one is very easy to miss, but after Kevin's crown is stung by a jellyfish, if you look at one of his anchovy followers' eyes, yeah, one of the eyes disappears when the jellyfish swims by. It's just missing and it looks really bad. So yeah, but let's keep it moving, guys. Let's keep the video going. Stay tuned for some spicy mistakes. Okay, so hold up, guys. Do not click off of the video yet. I know we primarily talk about SpongeBob, but Nickelodeon also has this other awesome show called The Loud House, which is full of mistakes. Now, the episode in question is called Don't You Forget About Me, and for context, guys, listen closely, as the mistake has to do with these two characters right here, Lenny and Lily. All right, you can see images of them right here. Pay close attention to these two characters during these clips so you can catch the mistake. Roll the footage.
And tease.
So funny. This day hasn't gone at all like I thought it would.
Were you guys able to catch it? Well, I did, and it's pretty bad, as when Lenny stops pushing Lily's pram, her head is disconnected from her body for 2 frames. What? That is a bad mistake, dude. Like, the head is just disconnected from the body. How does that even happen? That is just really bad animation. And guys, here's another mistake from this episode. This time though, pay close attention again to the character Lenny, as the mistake has to do with him. Watch him closely. Roll the footage.
Do you know where Coach Nibbles is?
Niblick? He just went to his office to make a phone call. He said it was urgent.
This one's very similar to the last one, as when Lori and Lenny run up to a student and ask where the coach is, Lenny's left hand is disconnected for an entire frame. His left hand is just not attached, and yeah, those are 2 really bad mistakes. Now we're gonna get back to SpongeBob, guys, but leave a comment down below letting me know other cartoons you want me to cover on the channel, Easter eggs or mistakes from other cartoons. But anyways, let's get back to SpongeBob.